Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lisa Elvin Stoltari, and I'm a genealogist and a passionate traveler. The last few years, I've been featuring each visual Warrior King's daughter and getting to know their stories a little bit better. There are over 700 of them. Today, we're on episode 224. You can do the math. We've come a long way, though, and I thank you for your support during this time. And another way, before we begin, I want to show you ways that you can support the channel. The first three keep you in the know. Subscribe, like, and notify. These are kind of helpful for logarithms, and you kind of always are able to see when I am posting new content. The next couple of ways are ways to help the channel itself grow. We have Coffee, Patreon, and of course PayPal. Coffee and Patreon are all part of a separate website, and I list those in the comments. And also PayPal is found on my website, Have Roots Will Travel. Have a look at that. You can donate through that as well. Thank you to everyone for your kind words and support. It really means the world to me. And here we are on episode 224, Marguerite Raisin. Um, this is a viewer request. When I looked in my files, I did find that one of my dear friends who got me started in genealogy, actually, um, way back when, this is one of her great-grandmothers, and my best friend's daughter through her father's line. This is also one of her great-grandmothers. Let's get to know Marguerite a little bit better. Uh-oh, when you see the big map, you know. We know that she was born about 1651. We do not know the location, and we don't know any of her, we don't know her parents. So she is a mystery woman. She arrived in New France on La Nouvelle France, and she would arrive on July 31st, 1670. We have no information on a dowry or anything like that. Here we have the mystery woman meets kind of the mystery man. Bernard Dénéger de Sans-Souci was born in 1627 in Gagne, we believe, France, and his parents are unknown. Now, what was interesting is that Gagne is part of, kind of like a lost part of France. It is part of the Nouvelle-Aquitaine region of France. However, I wanted to show you what France looked like around the time he was born. So you can see France in 1477. Guyenne was part. It wasn't divided. It was divided up into duchies. You see on there the Duchy of Brittany, Guyenne. So different countries were all part of that France, that part of France. And so they have Anjou, they have Poitou, all of that. So somewhere in there, we believe, is where Bernard came from. What we do know is that Bernard arrived on June 18, 1665 with the Carignan-Salers Regiment. He was part of the Froment Company. Part of the reason we don't know where Marguerite or Bernard are from is that we have no marriage record that usually lists their parish and that sort of their parents' names and that sort of thing. So we don't know exactly when they got married. She arrived in 1670. Sometime in 1670 or 1671, they were married. We don't know where. We just know that obviously they were married. So they would settle in Chambly. Chambly, of course, dates back to about 1665. It was the largest in a series of fortifications on the shores of what was known as the Iroquois later known as the Chambly River, finally becoming the Richelieu River in the 19th century. Originally called Fort St. Louis, it soon came to be known by the name of its first commanding officer, Jacques de Chambly, to whom the surrounding seigneury was granted in 1672. It was intended to protect New France in general, and Montreal specifically, from attacks from hostile natives and the English. Today, the fort is run by Parks Canada and is designated a National Historic Site of Canada and houses a museum and interpretive center and hosts historical reenactments of military drills. So this on the bottom left is the fort as it exists today. We have in the middle an illustration of the fort as it existed back then. We also have, an aerial view of the town now on the upper right, and then of course on the upper bottom left, I should say, the bottom right is just an overview of Chambly and the church. And then just in the middle is just an artist illustration, Shelby, thank you, of just a young couple starting out. Would go on to have 7 children. Jean would pass away at age 16. The second Jean would marry Catherine Surprenant and have 6 children, all of whom would make it to adulthood. Catherine's mother was Jeanne Deneau, who we featured in episode 16. Marie married Claude Mesny and had 6 children, all of whom made it to adulthood. Pierre, I forgot about Marguerite, became a nun with the Congregation de Notre Dame. Pierre married Catherine Tétu and had 6 children, all of whom made it to adulthood. Jeanne also became a nun with the Notre Dame congregation. And René married Madeleine Dionnet, but did not have any children before his early death at 33. Bernard would pass away sometime between 1686 and 1700. And the reason we know that is Marguerite, we do have her death record. We don't have Bernard's. She would pass away on the 25th of November, 1700, at La Prairie. They would have 47 descendants as of 1729. Some of my favorite resources. One of them that I want to feature today is Généalogie Québec. It is a paying website, but boy, it really pays its way in terms of what I am able to obtain, the records, the knowledge. They're constantly updating. It's just a fabulous website. If you're doing, strong Quebec research, you must at least, subscribe for 1 month and see all that you can get from it. So I heartily recommend that you check that out. And so ends episode 224. Marguerite and Bernard had kind of a mystery, to them. And we don't know that much about them. But we know that they came and they established themselves at Chambly and were able to have, as of 1729, 47 descendants. So, despite the fact we don't know that much about them, we are so grateful that they came and that Marguerite was part of that Fille du Roi and was able to establish a family and a life. So thank you, Marguerite, for your contribution and for your sacrifices. We are ever so grateful. I also want to pay homage to my patrons and supporters who are amazing, and the list is there up for you. I also want to thank all of my subscribers as well. You are truly amazing, and I love hearing from each and every one of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So with that being said, I will say au revoir until I see you on episode 225. Until then, au revoir.